Introducing Mike Tyson.
Just 10 months into Mike Tyson's professional career, and his record stood at 13 knockout wins. The recent death of Cus D'Amato, Mike's legal guardian, mentor, and closest friend, didn't seem to affect his performance in the ring. Tyson continued to win over the crowds and leave the commentators in awe. Fight number 14 was against Sammy Scaff, a journeyman fighter who at 6'5" towered over Tyson's 5'11" frame.
We're moments away from the start of tonight's scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout featuring undefeated Mike Tyson and Sammy Scaff. Mike Tyson is the man they've come to see. He's building a big reputation in the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division has always been boxing's glamour group, and now a new star is rising in the division. He's 19-year-old Mike Tyson. Born in Brooklyn, he now makes his home in Catskill, New York, where he's been diligently working toward his goal of becoming heavyweight champ of the world. He began his pro career only last March, but he's already 13-0, all the wins by knockout. His power has been awesome, with 9 knockouts in the first round, yet Tyson himself doesn't think his power is anything special.
I feel that I punch hard, no harder than anybody else. I just go in there to fight. And I don't look at it that, wow, I have power and I could put it to use. I just go and fight. I plan to go 10 rounds every time, 8 rounds, the distance every time I fight. I don't plan to go in there and knock the guy out and kill a guy in 10 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever it calls for. I just go in there and do my best, and I'm planning to go the distance. And what happens seems to happen.
He may only be a youngster, but Mike Tyson fights like a man with a lot of experience. From the opening bell, he's always moving in. He'll slip punches, get his leverage, and then drop his devastating bombs. His style reminds people of a great former heavyweight champ, Joe Frazier, who also had those powerful punches. But Tyson doesn't agree with the comparison.
People, they don't know really basically what they're talking about. Only thing they see is 2 heavyweights approximately the same size, and they were both aggressive. But there's things I do that I never see Joe Frazier doing. The things he do, I have no comparison with. Maybe I fight, and people look and they say, wow, he looks like this guy. But in my mind, I never think I want to fight like him. I'll be like him. I never looked at anyone as a role model. I don't know, maybe you could say I'm stubborn or egotistic, but the way I come from, I think that it's weak to look up to someone else and say, he's my idol and I want to be like him.
But there is someone Mike Tyson has looked up to for several years. The man who rescued him from the streets, straightened out his life, and taught him everything about boxing. The late Cus D'Amato. D'Amato harnessed Tyson's raw power and honed his skills. But there was more to their relationship than just boxing, as Mike Tyson explains.
When you think of my career as a boxer, it's not even a tenth of what Cus D'Amato meant to me or to all other people that he influenced. It was more like the boxing part was just so limited. It was really nothing compared to the humanity we had between one another. He was my father. He was my father, and there's nothing else I could tell you. He loved me. I loved him. You know, the man lived a long life, 77 years, longer than probably that I'll live. And as far as, you know, he's gone now. And, you know, the show must go on, you know. There's nothing I could do or anyone else could do about it. The show must go on.
Mike Tyson is following in the footsteps of another Cus D'Amato protege who went on to become heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson. Patterson holds the record of becoming the youngest man to become heavyweight champ. And now, Mike Tyson's goal is to break that record.
To break the record would be so much, I would be so thrilled, and it's a goal at the moment. And I look forward to doing it. But these things, records are made to be broken. The record, and no doubt, will be broken eventually. But if I'm not the individual that'll do it, the objective is to be the champion of the world. And that definitely will happen.
Mike Tyson on the road. He's only been fighting professionally for 9 months, but so far very impressive, John. That power is awesome.
I got a kick out of what he said, Sam, when you were talking with him about he doesn't go in there looking for the knockout. Come what may, he said. Well, come what may, so far has been nothing but knockouts.
In looking at him, John, doesn't he remind you of Joe Frazier?
His style, the way he throws short punches, yes. Yes, when he's in close and he throws that, especially that short left hook, very much like Frazier.
Okay, can a guy like this with that type of power, obviously that could be the foundation of becoming a champion.
Sure. But again, as I said earlier, Sam, I think that he's got to learn a little boxing ability and develop that a little bit. But there is going to come a time when he's going to need it.
Just a youngster at 19, but on the road, he is 13-0 with 9 first-round knockouts. He's set to go against Sammy Scaff in our opening bout. We are just about set for this big 10-round heavyweight bout featuring undefeated Mike Tyson, warmed up, loosening up, and ready to go, looking for knockout number 14. That's his opponent, Sammy Scaff from Russell, Kentucky. In his last fight, he was in against Tim Witherspoon. Sammy Scaff with a record of 13-6. He weighs about 250 pounds. He stands 6'5". From Russell, Kentucky, he is 29 years old. He has 11 knockouts in his 13 wins. Early in that fight against Witherspoon, he used his weight to bully Witherspoon around, push him around a little bit, and hang in there in the early rounds. But as the fight wore on, Sammy Scaff wore down, and Witherspoon, a former heavyweight champion, was able to take advantage of the defensive deficiencies of Sammy Scaff. And watch out for the right hands of Tim Witherspoon. A right uppercut will hurt Scaff, and an overhand right puts him down. And though Scaff got up, the referee stopped the fight. Sammy Scaff, the big man, in against Mike Tyson tonight. We are set for the introductions to the opening bout. Let's go to ring announcer Marvin Goldberg.
Good evening, boxing fans. Welcome to the Felt Farm of Madison Square Garden. The officials are assigned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairman Jose Torres. The timekeeper, Freddie Abatiello. The judges, Billy Graham, Bernie Freakin, and Eva Shane. Referee for the first bout, Fred Usey. This bout, 10 rounds in the blue corner from Raceland, Kentucky, wearing black and green trunks, weighing 250 pounds, with a record of 13-6, 11 by KOs, Slammin' Sammy Scaff. And in the red corner, from Catskill, New York, wearing black trunks, weighing 215, with a record of 13-0, 13 by knockout, Mike Tyson, 10 rounds.
Kevin Rooney in his corner. Joins Mike Tyson in the center of the ring. Fred Usey with the instructions. In the unlikelihood that this goes the distance, the judges will score. 3 judges at ringside score the fight.
Judges are Billy Graham, Bernie Friedkin, and Eva Shane.
Now look at the height difference. At least 6 inches. What does Tyson have to do to get inside?
Do you know what that means to Tyson? That means that he has in front of him a very large target.
Okay. Scheduled for 10, but don't go away. Tyson already coming in, got in a short left hook. There's the big left hook, and that rocked Sammy Scaff early.
It sure did. There's a right hand. He's going to work. Wobbly. He's taking his time. He's pinpointing his punches. He's not over anxious. That's the first punch he's missed so far.
Look at the legs. Look at where the power comes from when he bends and gets his body into those punches.
You got to watch this one real close.
Blood coming from the nose of Sammy Scaff already. A big left hook got in there. He might have broken his nose already.
That's right. It looks bad.
Scaff is on the run. Blood just pouring down from the nose of Sammy Scaff.
Tyson does not throw wild punches, Sam.
Big left hook. And there is Scaff down.
3, 4.
The count is 5.
For the rest of the
6.
The count is 7. This one's over.
9.
This one is over.
It's all over. He tried to make it. Sammy Scaff tried to get up. His nose is cut. Look at the side of his nose there.
He's breathing and nose is just pouring out. I got to believe he broke his nose with one of those left hooks.
I think there might even be a tear on the side of that nose.
Wow. Well, he gave everybody what they expected.
He didn't keep them long, I'll tell you that, Sam. Everybody who came early, our first fight of the evening is the Tyson fight, and he didn't keep them very long.
Here's Jose Torres, the New York State Boxing Commission chairman, and another Cus D'Amato protege, and certainly there's got to be some strong feeling inside from Jose Torres about the performance of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, very calm and showing some concern, going over to the corner of Sammy Scaff to make sure he's okay, and asking the doctor if he's okay. But watch the power, watch the left hook rock Sammy Scaff here. Bingo. And what you said is right. Those punches are short and powerful.
Right. He went down in sections. He tried to get up. He struggled trying to get up, but there was really no need for it. He couldn't continue. He was completely defenseless. And I called him a thunderous puncher before, and that's a pretty good word.
I think so. That applies perfectly. Mike Tyson is getting to that point where he will have to be tested by a better quality opponent. Sammy Scaff, as we mentioned, a journeyman heavyweight who has been knocked out now 7 times, has 13 wins. This man, for fighting professionally only 9 months, John, he shows a lot of good technical skills.
Poise. He's got poise, Sam. It seems as though it comes natural to him. He's got great poise for a young man who has only had this as his 14th fight. Very few rounds, actually, but he's got a lot of poise, a lot of professionalism in him.
He acknowledges the cheers of the crowd. Let's get the official time from Marvin Goldberg.
The time, 1 minute and 19 seconds of the first round. Winner by TKO, Mike Tyson.
I want a good, clean, hard fight. I want a good, clean, hard fight.
You didn't keep us very long, or you didn't keep a lot of the folks that came to see you very long. There are a lot of people who say that you are ready right now to fight anybody in the top 10. How do you feel about that?
I feel the same also. But the problem is, I only been fighting 9 months, and I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting now. Someone fighting only 9 months and 19 years old. Now they want me to fight for the title. They want me to fight a contender. That's absurd in boxing business. That's just absurd.
Yeah, but you're not the usual heavyweight. You're an unusual heavyweight. So if you think you're ready to fight in the top 10, why are you against it?
Because my job is to fight, and my manager's job is to manage. If my manager went in the ring and fight Sammy Scaff, he wouldn't look so well and wouldn't do so well. And I feel the same doing his job.
Okay. Now let's say that tomorrow morning, your manager said I have a world title fight for you. There are 3 champions: Michael Spinks, Tony Tubbs, and Pinklon Thomas. Of the 3, which would you rather fight?
I fight anyone my manager chooses for me to fight, because if he feels confident I could beat him, I feel confident I could beat him also.
Mike, you seem to have a good time. Do you enjoy boxing? Do you think about it all the time?
You have to love it to be the best at it. You have to love the sport. Anyone that's just in there to go for the money, it's good to be successful and have financial status. But if you only go in there for the money, you can only reach a certain status. And I'm in there for greatness and peace of mind. And I'm sure I love the sport. If I went in there just for the financial background, I wouldn't do as well as I'm doing now.
Let's go back a few years, maybe about 5 years, to the age of 14. You had a few problems as a kid, and you found a man by the name of Cus D'Amato, and you found a sport called boxing. The combination of the two, what has it done for you?
Oh, achieved my character, personality, 400, 500% as a human being, besides the boxing aspect. Right now, I could quit boxing now and practically go into any kind of business, and I'll be successful just as well as I was in boxing.
And boxing did all that for you, and Cus D'Amato, huh?
Yes, sir.
What's at the end of the rainbow besides the world heavyweight title? Have you got something else in mind?
Well, I take only one step at a time. You're asking the wrong person. My only concern is boxing now. And as for at the end of the rainbow, I have to see what my occupation consists of.
I see.
Longevity.
Give me just a little idea. What is a day in the life of Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson is just a hard-working fighter that lives a boring life as an individual. Everyone says, I wish I was in your shoe, I wish I was in your shoe. The hundreds of people that wish they were in my shoe don't know the tenth of it. If they were in my shoe, they would cry like babies. They couldn't handle it.
That's true in almost every profession, Mike. Good luck to you. Thanks very much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Keep going. Good to see you. Back to Sam Rosen.
Thank you, John. Well, maybe he doesn't live an exciting life outside the ring, but inside it's full of excitement. Mike Tyson, another first-round knockout at 119 of the first round. He stopped Sammy Scaff, and Tyson is now 14-0.
The most talked about heavyweight to come along in years is about to enter the ring. He is undefeated. His name is Mike Tyson, and he is very much a local favorite here in the Tri-City area of New York State. He is from the Albany, Troy, Schenectady area. He has not truly been tested in the ring yet, but he is 14-0, 14 knockouts. He'll be challenged by Mark Young, 12-4-1, and this should be something. Let's go now back to our ring announcer, Paul LaFleur.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fight you have been waiting for, the co-main event. 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing to you in the red corner, from Charlotte, North Carolina, wearing blue trunks with gold trim, weighing in at 206 3/4 pounds, with a professional record of 12 wins, 4 losses. 8 of those wins by knockout, Mark Young. And in the blue corner, from Catskill, New York, wearing black trunks, weighing in at 219 pounds, with a professional record of 14 wins, no losses, all wins by knockout, Mike Tyson. Your referee is Sid Rubenstein. 10 rounds heavyweight.
The fighters getting their instructions. There again you see the records. Mike Tyson from nearby Catskill, undefeated. This is a scheduled 10-rounder, Ray Mancini, and for Mike Tyson, he's never seen anything near the 10th round.
I'll tell you, Mike Tyson has come to fight tonight. That's the first time I've seen a main event fighter come in the ring with no robe on. He says, I'm ready to go. Let's just do it.
Well, he has said go to his opponents early in all of his 14 fights.
Right.
If you blink in the first round, you'll probably miss a Mike Tyson fight.
He's a young, strong guy who jumps right on his opponents. And I think this might be another early stoppage because this guy's been a little wild. He's going to get caught with something.
Mark Young out of Charlotte, North Carolina, comes out swinging.
That jab pushed him back. Oh, this guy is like a ball of granite.
Awesome is an overused word in the 1980s, but Mike Tyson is absolutely awesome. Just sit back and watch, but don't blink because you could miss it. A low right from Young. And down goes Mark Young. A breeze.
That's it.
A little phantom. He's gone. It's over. First round. Mike Tyson of Catskill, New York.
I like to see that one myself.
Is 15-0. I would like to see it also.
It was on the opposite side of the ring. And
well, we said if you blink, you could miss it. Young had taken a punch from Tyson, and then all of a sudden, Young went flying to the canvas. And a happy Mike Tyson, the heavyweight, highly publicized, highly thought of, now 15-0 at a typical finish early.
You know, Ken, the fans here can't be disappointed. They've had a good night of boxing. I've always said, if you get a main event, you got to support it with a good semifinal. They saw a great fight against Rosario Montoya. Mike Tyson comes out, wins one round. They're very happy because their homeboy won, and they've been treated to a good night of boxing.
How good is Mike Tyson?
Like I said, he's as good as the people he's fighting, and as good as he wants to be. He has all it takes. And what I always say, what it takes is what you have on the inside. He has all the qualities. all the attributes to make it to the top. But I think they got to start giving him something to fight. I mean, he's had several one-round opponents. Sure, he is strong. He's jumping on guys, catching them early. But he's got, you know, he's not fighting all world beaters.
Here it is. Tyson in the darker trunks lands a left. Watch closely now.
You can see he's hurting them with them jolting uppercuts. But I just still don't know what hit him.
There will be a Tyson shot that hits him, and they separate. The knockout coming in round 1 of this heavyweight fight. There it was. The winner is Mike Tyson. The local favorite gives a show, and let's go back to the ring.
50 seconds of the first round. Mike Tyson.
The crowd chanting the next heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson. You definitely are going to hear more about him. As if you haven't, he's gotten a lot of publicity. Mike Tyson from Catskill, New York.
Mike Tyson here was throwing a lot of strong uppercuts, a lot of strong body blows, but he hit him with a quick left right there. It snapped the head back, and you know, a lot of times you catch a guy on the right side of the chin.
And money worth, and I was a little bit not really. I expected him to come out because I was watching him in the weigh-in and the way he was looking at me, and I felt the intensity of his personality, and then he just came out to fight, and I was ready to come in here and fight with him and stay body to body with him for 10 rounds.
Well, it was a scheduled 10-rounder, Mike Tyson. You win it at 50 seconds of the first round. You've not gotten past the second round in any of your fights, have you?
Well, yes, I went 4 rounds in one fight here in Albany also, but I have no doubt in my mind that I could go 10 or 15 rounds. I have no worry. I'm never worried.
Well, that's good. You train hard. Your future. Everyone around, at least the United States, talking about you is certainly a potential heavyweight champion. You've got 15 fights in now. Are you concerned that you haven't had a long fight, a tough challenger?
No, I'm not. Everyone saw this guy came to fight. He wasn't intimidated of my reputation or my name or if I can knock out somebody. He came to fight and came to make a name for himself. And those are the people that you have to watch out for because they're dangerous and they're desperate. But they don't know. They think because I have a lot of glamour and a lot of prestige, I'm hungry too, and I want it all.
And what's in the immediate future for Mike Tyson?
Well, you have to talk to my managers about that. At the particular moment, I'm just training, and I'm prepared for every fight. I think I have a fight next week here also in Albany, and I'm very glad and happy to fight.
And a heavyweight championship, how far away?
In the future, but I couldn't predict it. I have managers, and as you know, you have to talk to them because they arrange business, and that's not my field.
You're a boxer, right?
Yes, sir.
How about the home crowd? They were really behind you.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. It was great. And I love to fight here all the time if I can. But, you know, business is business. Sometimes you're a popular demand some other places, and I'm fortunate to be that.
You have the big knockout punch. You're the big heavy hitter. Yet you have a lot of finesse for a heavyweight. Give us a little of the background, how it's all developed.
Well, I had a great teacher in Customato who smoothed the rough edges out and everything. And besides the point, I always had good character. And it's just the way I am.
You patting yourself after anyone?
No one at all. I'm Mike Tyson. There's no one like me.
You know, they're always going to compare you against the great heavyweight champs, not necessarily a direct comparison, but nowadays, when they talked about heavyweights, they say, will there ever be another Muhammad Ali?
Well, I'm not interested at that moment. I'm just interested in making a name for Mike Tyson at the moment. I don't dwell on the heavyweight champions of the past, which they are. They're the yardstick to my success. I have to measure to them. The great champions that's up in heaven right now watching me, they're probably saying, that's another good one for Mike.
Mike, you did a fine job tonight. Keep up the good work, and we'll look for you in another fight soon.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Mike Tyson began his professional career in March 1985, and at the end of the year, he had fought 15 times. Tyson had stopped them all in 22 rounds, 11 in the first round. Word was out. Mike Tyson had arrived. A new challenge for the 19-year-old in the next episode of Tyson, Raw and Uncut.
Mike Tyson.
I believe he will be the youngest heavyweight champion of all time.